Hi, my name is Jenny Walker. I live in San Diego, California, and I try to work with Will as much as I can. He still is an hour away from me. But this is my horse Logan. I've had him for a couple of years, but in that couple of years, I have been injured a couple times, so it's been an off and on process. Here I'm doing some in-hand work, trying to get him to stretch. He's doing a pretty good job. Although as I watch this, I can see that we need to do more. And I need more stretching. I need to get his nose lower, his whole head and neck lower and stretching. Because if I can work, and here's some shoulder in, and he's way overbent in the head and neck. So I will have to try to keep him straighter when I do that. I have started working hand with several horses, and there's some leg yielding, and he's not doing too bad. He's staying fairly parallel with this side, but he could step over more, under and over more. We will have to work on that. And you have to be careful. This can be kind of, the horse can get in your way, and this is some shoulder in that I don't care for at all. Again, way overbent in the head and neck, and we're not staying on one path, or we need to improve on that, that's for sure. But I've had horses who do not want you on the right side, and of course a lot of them don't want to bend at all. So if you're starting a horse with work in hand, you need to make sure that they will let you lead off of both sides and that you can get some bend both directions. And then just work on, there's some leg yield. I can see his head curled in front of me, which is telling me he's got too much bend in his head and neck again. So again, we're going to have to work on this. I see lots of things in a video that I don't realize when I'm sitting on the horse. Here he doesn't want to move off at all. And so I get him finally with a little softness, and he does move off a little bit, but he was stuck back there. And so you have to be careful, because you just want to start off with doing a little walk. Don't be too anxious to start getting any leg yields or shoulder ends anywhere. You need to be able to get the horse to walk with you, straight line and a circle, and then achieve some bend while you're doing this and some softness. Again, see, he got stuck. And if he wasn't the nice, kind little guy that he is, he might be all over me. You know, he might just push into me and run me over. And I've had them do that. So you have to be careful. And you have to take, in all of this training, you have to take little steps. So what I did is I went around again, and here we are. Again, he objected. But then now we are moving off. He would come around that turn and be stuck, and not, and just be totally stiff and stuck and not able to do anything. So that time we just came around the turn, tried to get unstuck, and then just walked on forward. So I will have to work on that some more. But I see so much on the video that I really don't realize. See, that turn was better. He did not come around totally stuck in the turn. And all I did was just ask him to walk straight. Didn't ask for leg yielding, just come around the turn. And if you can't get him around a turn, then you can't get the leg yielding. This work seems very slow. And he's nicely stretching. And again, we made the turn. We didn't throw our head up and get stuck. So off we go into some lunging. And I have no Chambon or side reins on him today. I kind of wanted to see what he would do without them, and since I was filming, this gives me a chance. Very nice stretch. And this little horse used to be, when you put a lunge line on him, it was off to the races. And then, of course, if you added any whip, the races became even faster. So just to get this horse to go out like he is right now and walking and stretching, and when he pops up now, at least he's only coming up so his withers are level. I mean, his head is level with his withers. He's not really popping his head way up and, you know, sky gazing or whatever. So that's nice right there. I've started him to the right. I like to change it around, and a lot of times there he is. Very nice there. That's what I want. I'd like that real consistent. And we get it on this half of the circle, becomes pretty consistent there, but then as we come around this corner here after P was where he liked to throw his left shoulder out, so we still kind of sometimes revert back to that. But like I said, I've had a Chambon on him, but I wanted to see today what he would do without it, just to see how consistent he was. And I'm seeing that need to go back to either side reins or Chambon to help him stay consistent, which helps develop the muscles in the right direction. So, and that's what we're looking for. That's why we use those training tools, is to help the horse develop the muscles for the work we want him to do to get his back stronger. And see, that walk right there is very nice. So I went back to the walk, back to the trot, and he stretches nicely over there and then tends to pop up over here. That's very nice. I wish he would just go around like that the whole time. And he does do that with the Chambon on. So, and of course the Chambon is never fitted to force that. It's just there to help him learn to be there, and then it reminds him, I think of it as a reminder that that's where he wants to be. Because when he's in that position, the Chambon should have no pressure whatsoever on his head. So I think using a Chambon, we really need to, you know, be aware of. It's not like it's a lot of other running reins and stuff like that where we can apply a lot of pressure. But if you have the Chambon too tight, yes, you are forcing the horse. So we changed direction, and this has always been his harder side. And you'll see from P to B over there is where his head will tend to pop up going to the left, because that's where he's always wanted to throw his shoulder out and drag me. But we've gotten to the point where it's gotten a whole lot better. Now this walk is very nice. He's got a very nice stretch in the walk, and I would like this type of stretch in the walk when I'm on him. But again, then when we get on, we're adding the weight of the rider, so he has to develop those muscles to accommodate my weight also. And so you see, pop up the head, and then we'll go down. Now I'm seeing that, you know, I've worked really hard to get this horse just to relax and to trot around like this. And I can see where in parts we need a little bit more energy. Not speed, just some energy. And of course the energy will, and that's very nice right in there. Yes, you can see how he gets a little bouncy because his hind legs are coming up underneath his back. Actually, he went around his bad spot over there really nice. And he's keeping it. And I can see maybe just a tad bit of energy here. But again, this horse would then just take off. I mean, if you added too much, his head popped up on that circle over there. So, you know, it's that fine line, and it's that fine line when we're on them as well to get them to move forward, but also to work the hind end. It's not speed. It's energy. This is very nice. Very nice for him. Very good. We're not popping up over that head. Good job. A little bit more energy. Just enough to pick those hind legs up, bend those hocks just a little bit more. You can see as, you know, this horse doesn't have the greatest conformation around, and I don't know what he did before I got him. Bought him at an auction, and he's a cart horse and was a riding horse. Not much riding, but. And here I'm on board riding and working at the stretch and the walk. And here I'm going to ask for a little leg yielding. And I'm finding that he's not as parallel as, you know, I kind of thought he was as I watched this. So we will have to be more aware of that and try to keep that hind end going. Oops, way overbent. Hind end is lagging behind. So not good at all. When you're doing leg yielding, you want your horse to stay more parallel. I was looking at the camera there because I'm going, I don't think it's pointed in the right spot. I don't have a camera person to film me, so it's on a tripod. So I try not to go too far away. You know, I don't use my whole arena. I only use about half of it. So you're going to see me in a minute. I'm going to come up to the camera and I'm going to move it a little bit. And I probably could pull that out, but it's just a little tiny segment. And so I've just decided it can just stay there. So here we come. And there's Logan and me. And I move the camera just a little bit. Hi, Logan. And I use a short type dressage whip because he's still just becoming comfortable with the fact that there's a whip out there. I don't know if that came from, you know, the driving, you know, with the whip when you use a whip, long whip when you're driving. I have no idea how he was treated. All I know is that when I was watching him being ridden at the auction, he was like in a serpentine. His body was so contorted when they asked him to canter. You know, shoulder was going one way, head and neck was bent another. So anyway, so we've come a long way. This leg yield doesn't look too bad right there at the beginning. And, oh, you know, again, but we're leaving the hind end out behind a little bit there. But that wasn't too bad. And of course, when we were on the ground, he was getting stuck making these right turns. So at least we're staying softer. And there was some more leg yielding, but really not enough. Because what you want to do is you want to get the hind end to step under, because by stepping under, you bring the back up. And that's what we're trying to achieve. And that wasn't too bad. We're still leaving the hind end a little bit out behind. So it needs to be more parallel. So I will have to work on that. So, but we have a nice stretch, and at least we're not getting stuck on that corner like we were on the in-hand work. I'm going to have to work on that. Not bad. Staying stretched, walking forward. He's just staying nice and loose and stretched. This is not something he would do a lot of, even at the walk. He might be down for a step and then the head would be flung up above the withers. At least now he just kind of comes to the withers, and then, then I have to ask him to stretch again. And this is a nice walk here. Yes, very nice. Here I'm asking for a little shoulder 4. Not too bad. At least I don't have him too overbent there like I did in hand. So nice stretch again. Very nice stretch at the walk. Now I wish I could keep that kind of consistent. There's a little shoulder in, or shoulder 4 again. Came off the wall a little bit, but we're staying down in the stretch. And of course you lose me in the corner. I try not to go too deep, but and a good stretch at the walk. But, we lose it. Okay, and we're up to a trot. Now, like I said, I need to go back to either Chambon or side reins here. Because I would like him to stay more consistent, have a little bit of a reminder, and that's all either one of them is. Neither the side reins nor the Chambon should force him into position. It's a tool, not a remedy. And we, the riders, have to remember that, riders, trainers, that if you force the horse into the position, all he does is resist. So it's a learning process that takes time, little steps at a time. And we're not as consistent as I would like us to be. So we will have to work on that. I'd like him to be right there. More and more. Like him to be there, there. See, and we pop up. We come behind. And I have to be careful. I can't, if I use too much energy myself, then this little guy just runs forward. The head goes up even further. Not a bad leg yield. And we'll probably try it again here. Oops, got a little stuck on the corner. See, same spot. Doesn't he, like, it's like he thinks we're going all the way around and we're not. So I have to work on that. He falls out onto his left shoulder is what it is, and that's why he's stuck, because if he's leaning on the outside of that left shoulder, he can't move over because he's got all his weight over there. So That's a better turn, and we'll probably leg yield off of that. Yes. Okay. Because he can pick his left leg up and go over, and he can step under with his right hind. But if you get stuck in the turn and you just have all your weight on that outside shoulder, then you're not going to be able to pick it up and leg yield. And so we're going to change direction. And I bring my hands up and out when he pops his head up, and to keep contact with his mouth. And I can see that sometimes I'm, don't have enough, not that I don't have enough, but I'm dropping him here and there. So I'll have to work on that. And the left, yes, there was a good stretch. To the left, what he would like to do is just curl his nose behind. And, I would lose him. So I have to keep an eye on that to the left. And again, even still to the left, he wants to throw the right shoulder out. And I sometimes think it's because he was never taught to stand up. You don't necessarily have to stand up in a cart because you got the shafts there that hold you. So I'm sure some horses are taught to stand up, but this one was not. And then with the way he was ridden, he was not taught. He just, like I said, you put him into some sort of contortion to get him to canter, which was not standing up and using and balancing. And so his shoulders were always kind of being thrown to the outside. It's taken us a long time to learn that we don't want to do that. This is a nice stretch right there. Needs a little bit more energy, I think, but a good stretch. It was a circle. And we come down with a little shoulder four. We're losing it a little. Had some steps there. Probably a little bit too much bend in the head and neck. But if I do that in hand work, then I'm probably going to do it riding as well. So I'll have to work on that. Little less neck. Good stretch there. And then he pops up. And that was a little shoulder in. Pop up, down, up, down. So we have to work on that too. Okay, so here we come again with a little shoulder four. That was not too bad. I don't think there was as much bend in the head and neck that time. And now I'm letting him stretch. Taking a circle and letting him stretch. And when he goes down, especially to the left, he still doesn't have the strength to hold it. So, see, and he pops up. So I was asking him to canter. We don't do a lot of canter because we're still, pretty stiff. But this position of the head and neck and a little bit more softening is a lot better and the speed than we ever were before. It used to be, scramble into canter. And then, of course, we were going as fast as we thought we could go. And to get him to come around and canter this nicely and to have a little bit of stretch and length, because he would definitely tuck his nose to his chest at the canter. So he's doing much better. And stretch afterwards. Change direction with stretch. And he's doing pretty good back there. Can't wait till I get my solo shot. I did order one of those. What's probably been almost a year now. Will did too, and of course we haven't gotten them, and it's probably a good thing we haven't gotten them because some of it was, they were not working as well as they thought. So, and hopefully that way it can get a closer up as I'm going around. It will follow me. We'll see. He's not doing too bad here, but I am asking for canter again to the right. Trying to keep him down. I'm trying to ask when he's down and stretched. So, and of course he throws his head up because that's about all he knows how to do. And of course he lost it because he was way out of it. So we'll try again. But he gets, he anticipates, and so the head goes up and the head goes down, the head goes up, and he's curling. So I'm trying to work on getting him to stretch and get him to stabilize again. Because the canter used to be such a traumatic event for him. When I saw him do it at the auction, that it's just...
Hello, please leave a message after the tone.
Oh, leave a message. My phone just rang. I have no way to... There we go. Off we go. After a little leg yield to try to bring the inside hind under him again. And we're cantering. And his right, again, has always, you know, it's not that good of a side, but it was always at least a little bit more controlled than the left. So, but then we would fall off the rail like we just did there. But, you know, we're getting there. He's willing. He's willing. So we'll just keep working. And good stretch afterwards. Good job. Now, you see he's bobbing up and down, up and down. So I've found, and I'll do it here in a minute, I think, with him, maybe not staying on the circle is necessarily a good way to stabilize him. That's not too bad there. But I think I finally went and did a little leg yielding, which seemed to work for him. This is nice that was stretched in the trot that direction. But you can still see he's pretty unsettled. So, and I'd like to get him more settled. There's a good stretch. And as you saw him go out of the picture, that's where he wants to, then there. Of course, I changed direction. But he wants to throw his head up. He wants to throw his shoulder out. So you can see I'm having a hard time getting him to settle and just trot around again in a stretch. And I would like more than that. The canter at this point still unsettles him quite a bit. So like I said, we don't do a lot of it. Still thinking we were going to canter there. So I changed direction, anything to try to just take his mind off of the fact that we cantered. And there he's settling a little bit better to the left than he was to the right. Good, like that. That was a good stretch. But it's not consistent enough. I can see that now. Yes, there. That's good. That's good. That's good.